Good afternoon, sir. Am I audible and visible to
Yes,
you?
yes, yes. Now I can see you. I can hear you. So, good afternoon, Vijay Lakshmi. How are you?
Sir, I am good, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you are from Chandigarh.
No, sir. I am from Haryana. I have done my graduation and post graduation from Chandigarh.
Okay, so your current address you wrote as Chandigarh, right?
Yes, sir.
And Haryana from which place?
Sir, from Fatehabad district.
Fatehabad. Okay. Now let us. You must have stayed for 5 years in Chandigarh, or more than that.
Uh, Sir, 7 years, sir.
7 years. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, what is so specific or so special about Chandigarh?
Sir, the foremost speciality is that Chandigarh is the first planned city in India post independence. And so the planning is very inclusive, wherein it provides space for both the pedestrian as well as the high motorable roads. It is, sir, a livable city and known as a city beautiful. That's why, sir.
Okay. And who planned it?
So it was planned by Lee Corbusier.
Lee Corbusier. And which country was he from?
Uh, Sir, I am unable to recall, but maybe he was a French architect.
Yes. Yes, French. French. Right, right.
Yes.
Uh, you have been a student of law.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me what is the basic difference between part 3 and part 4 of the Constitution?
So part 3 deals with the fundamental rights which are enforceable in court of law. So but part 4 provides for the directive principles of state policies. And so they are not as such enforceable. Rather, it provides directives to the government for a welfare country. So.
So, but partly part 4 also is enforceable. You see the right to education, right to information. Are babies coming out from part 4?
Certainly, sir. When it was inserted, Article 36 and 37 provided that it would not be enforceable. But, sir, it is up to the government wherein various legislations have been passed to made it a right-based services to the
Okay.
citizens.
Okay. Now, the basic structure of the Constitution has evolved over a period of time from 1950 onwards.
Yes, sir.
Where does it stand today?
Uh, So the basic structure doctrine provided that the certain tenets of constitution cannot be amended. And so over the period of time, the judiciary has included various facets into it. So as of now, it is not codified and no objective list has been provided. But sir, time and again, it has been updated as per the needs of society, sir.
Okay. What are the inalienable parts of the Constitution?
So first would be upholding the federal structure of our country. Uh, so second would be with respect to so certain rights which have been enshrined in the preamble. For instance, secularism. Again, federalism is there, and we have equality, which is given in preamble as well as part 3 of the Constitution. Uh, so these are the few things which are coming to my mind, sir.
Okay. Basically, it is the preamble which contains the gist of the basic
Right, sir.
structure and also inalienable parts.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir.
In the preamble, it is mentioned it is union of states, that is federalism.
Yes, sir.
And in preamble, the different parts. Just try to go through preamble once more in a deep state of concentration because each word in preamble is very important. People don't take it seriously, but uh, that is the that's the summary of constitution. So just try
Yes.
to know from there. You get a lot of ideas and lot of answers of the possible questions.
Okay, sir. I'll read it, sir.
Yes. Now tell me three fundamental rights which are not absolute. Not absolute.
So one is Article 14, sir. So it provides right to equality, but we also follows affirmative action, wherein the disadvantageous section are provided more protection. So second is Article 19, which provides freedom of speech and expression. So various limitations have been imposed on that as well. And so even in right to religion, we have to adhere to public morality and the public order and the like restrictions which are being enshrined in Constitution.
Okay, but would you have placed right to life above the right to religion or right to?
So certainly, so that is also so. I believe, except Article 17, most of the rights have restrictions. So, but so as I had to pick three, so these came to my mind, sir.
Okay, okay. So whenever Vijay Lakshmi, you have to give a specific answer in terms of limitations, in terms of number two, three, etc. Think about the answer and then give the important things out of that plethora or that basket, whatever you think it is. Okay. Try
Okay,
to
sir.
prioritize there because that will convey to the board the sense of significance, importance, and priority on your part. Keep that in mind. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, you used the term affirmative action.
Yes, sir.
Is this term used anywhere in the constitutional courts in India so far, or we have borrowed this term from foreign countries?
So I am not exactly sure, sir, but as far as my understanding goes and what we have read, I believe, sir, the Honorable Court has used this term in its judgments. But sir, I'll read more on it if certain judgments are
Well,
there.
your concept is right, but in India, generally, what has been used in this context is, reasonable restrictions and intelligible differentiation.
Yes, sir.
Affirmative action is a term used where the discrimination was primarily on the basis of race.
Okay, sir.
The race was the basis for discrimination, and there, the term affirmative action has been used. Like in Australia, they call it as
Yes,
the original natives were called as aboriginals.
yes,
Then in US, the original persons were called as native Indians, like that. Because there, the whole discrimination was on the basis of race. In
yes,
India, the discrimination was not on the basis of race, because there was only one race here. So that's the difference. That is why in Indian context, the term has been rarely used.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Now, tell me, why do you want to join civil services? What makes you think that you should join?
So there are a number of reasons, sir. So coming from Haryana, I have seen certain instances where which made me feel that civil services would offer me a platform which can bring about ground level change, sir. And so, civil servants work at the forefront at the implementation of the policies. So, if we implement the already existing schemes and able to provide grievance redressal to the people, so it would also help the judiciary in less burdening of the cases and overload on the judiciary, sir.
Okay. So now you said that since you are from Haryana, you are aware about ground realities. What is your, opinion about the legitimacy of khap panchayats?
So, Khap panchayats are mainly community based and primarily the caste based organizations. So they have historical roots wherein they provided for dispute resolution between the members of the villages and community. But sir, over the period of time, we have seen that the decisions which are being given by Khap panchayats are mainly on the patriarchal lines, and they does not honor the individual rights which have been given in the constitution. So, sir, the Honorable Supreme Court in Shakti Vahini case has held that the Khap panchayats cannot take away the constitutional rights of the people, and they does not have authority to give such rulings.
But they continue to exist. What as an administrator you will do if you are stuck in such a situation?
Sir, Khap Panchayats have both the facets, sir, that we can also use them to bring about social change because they enjoy a high level of social legitimacy. So, to implement certain schemes, for instance, with respect to gender parity, or to bring about ground level change in the villages with respect to youth de-addiction from the drugs. So in these spheres, we can very well use the Khap Panchayats. But so we also have to make them aware that they cannot exercise rights which are constitutionally vested in our judiciary. So that would bring them under the contempt of court if they violate such things.
Okay. But what are the positive areas where you can use Khap Panchayat? You gave two, three instances, but explain one in detail.
Um,
Just
so
one,
take
which you think is important.
So the one point would be respecting both the genders in the society, sir, and going away from the patriarchal norms which have been set up. So we can use Khap Panchayats to better implement the schemes such as the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, and to increase the gross enrollment ratio of girls in the schools, and also to prevent the sex selection and abortion, which runs illegally in certain parts of our states. Sir.
Okay, I will suggest you dwell upon it a little in detail,
Okay, sir.
because you are trying to contradict yourself. At one stage, you are telling the Khap Panchayat is a patriarchal structure, they give patriarchal verdict. On the other hand, you are telling they can be used for gender equity, etc., etc. These are two, contradicting statements. Just try to uh, analyze it in a little more detail. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now, at one point of time, you said they are basically caste driven, caste motivated. On the second point, you are telling social acceptability, they have more. The two statements don't go together. So just try to know, and I would suggest think about the answer before coming out with the answer.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you need to analyze what is in your mind and what should you say. Okay, you know a
Okay,
lot,
sir.
but then you should differentiate between what you should say and what you should not say.
Okay, sir.
Okay, because in this answer on Khap Panchayats, uh, you are trying to say too much, and in the process, there was a lot of confusion.
Okay, sir. So
Okay.
maybe I think the point which I tried to make was with respect to the choices with respect to marriage and other. But so I think both the facets are available as far as what I have seen from the Khap Panchayats. But so I'll refine my
Right,
answer.
right. I'll
Yes.
tell you, the Khap Panchayats are informal institutions, not
Yes, sir.
legitimate, but still they can be used because of the only reason that there is a lot of social, acceptance. Good or bad is a different point, but a lot of social acceptance. It is on the same line as, child marriages in Rajasthan.
Yes, sir.
There also it is social acceptance, so child marriages are continuing. Here also, Khap Panchayat verdicts are being accepted, so they are continuing.
Yes,
Whatever,
sir.
good or bad, they are continuing. So just because uh, suppose you get selected and you are put into Haryana cadre, then you may be faced with these situations. Okay, so you
Yes,
should
sir.
be clear on that point. Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay. Now tell me, what are the two, three major changes in CRPC, which is now named as Bhartiya. What is
So
CRPC's
Bhartiya,
new name?
Sir, BNSS, Bhartiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, sir.
Right. Now, what are the major changes from CRPC to BNSS? Two or three main.
Yes, sir. So first is the timelines have been mentioned with respect to completion of trials and examination of the rape victims. And so second is with respect to increase the change in police custody. So initially they could only exercise police custody in the initial 15 days, but sir now it has been spread over those 60 to 90 days period. So
Okay.
um, yes, sir. So I think these are the 2 points which are coming to my mind, sir.
Suppose the timelines are not met, is there a remedy provided?
Um, Sir, I have to read on it, sir. I am not exactly sure.
Okay. Just try to know about it. Because if timelines are prescribed and remedy in case of violation or non-adherence is not provided, then it makes no sense, right?
Yes, sir.
So just try to read about it.
Okay, sir.
Then, what is your assessment about the outcome of India-Pak relations? They have been at a standstill for so many years. What do you think is going to happen, say, from now 10 years down the line?
Um, Sir, I would say it would depend on how Pakistan allows its land to be used by the terrorist, which is a major concern for India, sir. So if it does not curb such instances, so then I do not think that relations could improve. But sir, if they are able to improve these things, sir, then I would say that as both are neighboring countries, it would be fruitful in the economic trade as well as the cultural exchange of the people. And also, so it would maintain peace along the border.
Okay, okay, good. Final question. Uh, you must have read there is a lot of criticism about UP's government in the general, public. What do you think? Is it fair or is it not? Is the criticism fair or it is unfair?
It's a criticism of UP government.
Yes. Like bulldozer politics, then communalization of Mahakumbh, making extravagant expenditure on a particular event, then your bulldozer politics, you must have read in case of, encroachments, etc. What do you think? Is the criticism fair or unfair?
Uh, so, although I am not a resident of UP, so it would be very difficult to talk from a ground level perspective, sir. So, but whatever I have heard, sir, so one, it is people's choice to express their opinion on their elected representative. And, sir, if they are in concern with their governance, so I think it would ensure accountability. And so second would be if there are any issues in their administration, sir, I think honorable court is already dealing with such issues. So for instance, in bulldozer justice, we have seen that honorable court has laid down the guidelines that notice should be given and a proper procedure has to be followed. So, sir, I would say any government, sir, it does enjoy legitimacy of people, but should also work within the spheres of the constitution, sir.
Good, good. Okay, so we are done with the interview part. Now we'll go to the second part. Tell me, how did you perform today in your assessment?
Sir, I think I need to work more on constitution, I believe, sir. And I need to refine my answers a bit to be more specific and less elaborate.
Okay, okay. Now, anything else you want to know? You have any doubts, clarifications?
Sir, there are certain issues, like being a law student, they have been time and again asked either in the transcripts or from the mocks. So, for instance, so the delimitation issue, like whether we should freeze it or we should go ahead, how to deal with the federal conflict which we are witnessing. So, similarly, one nation, one election. the dissolution of state assemblies, that whether it is against federalism. So, sir, how to tackle these issues, sir?
Okay, I'll tell you one by one. See, delimitation uh, cannot be a static, exercise. It has to be dynamic, because the whole purpose of limitation of a constituency, whether it is a parliamentary constituency or a state assembly constituency, is primarily dependent on the population. It is the number of people one represents. Now, the
Yes.
population keeps on changing. It is a variable factor. So, at some point of time, the delimitation has to be done. You can't have, you know, delimitation frozen forever, in the sense that today, suppose a particular constituency, say X, represents 10 lakh people. Tomorrow means after 10 years, 20 years, 30, 40, 50 years in future, it will represent, say, 11 lakh. On the other hand, another constituency Y, which represented today 10 lakh, will represent 50 lakh. Whether it is migration, whether it is population influx for other reasons. So you can't have this disproportionate representation, and therefore delimitation cannot be frozen. The time at which it should be done, whether it is 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, is left best for the executive to decide and parliament to decide. They will decide, they are the best judge. So I think you should have this clarity on delimitation. One nation, one election again is a very contentious issue. But then finally, it is the parliament which has to decide. There are pros and cons of one nation, one election. If you are asked a question, you say it has both the dimensions, pros and cons. These are the pros in my opinion. These are the cons in my opinion. And there is a forum for taking a call on this issue. Let the forum decide. Okay. Since you are not the person who can take a call on that, you cannot have a particular specific opinion, even if asked. Even if asked, you can say these are the pros in my opinion, these are the cons in my opinion, but I am not the one who is competent to take a call. We leave it to the forum to decide.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So that way you take a balanced view. Unless you are asked a specific question, what is your personal opinion? Then you can say, yes, my personal opinion is this. But if they ask only your opinion, then you should take a balanced view.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And any other thing?
And so there are certain concepts with respect to judiciary as well. So one is the recent issue that whether we should like change this system, that judiciary does not come under RTI, it does not come under Lokpal. So should we have a more transparent system in that? And sir, also the establishment of National Court of Appeal and the regional benches, sir. So, and sir, third is with respect to vacations of the judges. So, sir, these three topics from judiciary.
See, about your first issue, the thing is, you must remember that Supreme Court, which means the judiciary, is mandated with interpretation of the Constitution. Right?
Yes, sir.
So whatever you provide in the Constitution, the final interpretation of that will be done by judiciary. So it is very difficult to bring them under RTI and all other things, different forums for accountability, unless they are willing by
Yes.
whatever means. Okay. Since
Yes.
finally whatever the legislature does or executive does, it is the judiciary which is going to interpret whether it is right or not, in accordance or ultra vires the constitution, etc., etc., etc. Okay.
Yes. Yes,
So
sir.
that should answer your first doubt. The second was accountability. That, of course, there are different, mechanisms for appellation or appeal against the verdicts by agency A to agency B or forum A to forum B, forum C. The different statutes provide for it. What was your question, National Court of Appeal? Is it a specific one or a general one?
So it was with respect to that whether we should establish National Court of Appeal and the regional benches or not.
Against what?
So not
Court, court,
against.
court of
So like
appeal for what purpose?
so that like after higher courts, the appeal should go to the National Court of Appeal rather than Supreme Court. That Supreme Court should decide the constitutional matters. So in that sense, these questions were asked.
See, there is a legal issue involved in this. First, between two constitutional courts, you can't have a third constitutional court as an intermediary level for appeal. Because for that, you need to change the constitution. You have to amend the constitution, and then too many levels will bring too much of confusion. Okay,
Right.
so
Yes.
instead of that, you can have benches of Supreme Court at n number of places, which which
Okay.
will definitely serve the purpose of National Court of Appeal.
Okay. So,
Okay,
but this idea of regional benches has also not been supported by the Supreme Court, as they said that it might lead to different interpretations by different judges.
obviously, because as you see, the interpretation of constitution or law has been different by different high courts. So
Yes,
that
sir.
ambiguity is likely to creep in if you have too many benches. So yes, you are right that Supreme Court may not like to have benches because they probably may not be liking the dilution of interpretation
Yes, sir.
within themselves.
Yes,
So
sir.
ultimately, at some level in judiciary, there has to be an element of finality. Okay. Now
Yes.
there is I don't know whether you've heard it or not, but there is a famous quote about Supreme Court. You are not final because you are infallible. You are infallible because you are final.
Okay, sir.
Because you are final, you are supposed to be infallible, that you will not make mistake, you can never be wrong, etc., etc. Okay. If you understand
Yes,
this
sir.
phrase, you will understand the concept of finality of judiciary.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Anything
Yes.
else?
No, sir. These were the main doubts, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Vijay Lakshmi, and all the best.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good luck to you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.